Hello everyone, welcome back to Jake's Scary Unusual. In today's story, we're going to be going over a personal break-in story of the house I currently live in. This happened about 15 years ago, and believe it or not, shockingly, it was a neighbor. Luckily, they no longer live here. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and share with your friends on social media, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy the show. Bye now. It was an early morning in the summertime back in the early 2000s. I was a little kid at the time, and I was actually playing in my sandbox at the time. I was kind of moving around with the construction trucks, with the little shovels and everything. Kind of really enjoying that moment. As a kid, I really just enjoyed the sandbox. I always did a lot of things with that type of stuff, and when I got older, I actually wanted to be in construction, some sort of construction. I wasn't really sure. But actually, as I got older, it actually changed quite a bit. And I used to actually ride my bicycle in the backyard. I learned a lot of stuff in that backyard. But the few houses down, when I was actually playing in that sandbox, I could see in the corner of my eye, there's actually a guy standing on the back porch, kind of looking over our yard and the yards around him. And I just didn't really understand at the time why someone would be doing this, being so young, why was he looking around the yards, and stuff like that, and really trying to, looking as if he's trying to find the way in one of these houses or to get in one of these backyards, seeing different ways he can maneuver his way in here or anyone else's yard around. It was very unusual, and it kind of spooked me out. But I was still young enough to where I really didn't understand what he was necessarily doing. So I just continually digged holes in the sandbox in my backyard. And, as it got late in the day and I had dinner time and, I saw some of my parents doing yard work, I was helping out a little bit, with my little shovels and stuff like that, just doing little things here and there. Eventually we went swimming that day. It was a summertime, so I was off school. I was a little kid too. So, it was a different time then. And, it got later at night, and this guy's in the backyard now, kind of still scouting. He was trying to mind his own business, but you can see also that he was still, trying to look around, kind of get a good feel for what was around him. It was eerie, and my parents started catching on, and I think even some of the neighbors did. So throughout the next couple weeks, there was weird noises and movements in our backyard, and a few other neighbors as well were complaining about that. And it just happened this one summer night. I was in the house playing with little toy cars and stuff. That was just after we had some nice tuna hoagies with some, nice tomato and cheese, a little salt and pepper. And, we ate dinner, and, we're getting down ready to watch a movie later in the night. And we hear a bang downstairs. And, my father comes around, he looks out the window, and there's a guy trying to find the way in to our basement through the windows. But we have, some really nice thick screen and some other security precautions put into place just in case someone tried to actually break in to our basement. That's all been changed now, of course. But it's actually crazy that there was this guy. He actually saw a guy getting in, trying to really ram himself into the basement window. He really wanted to get into the house. So I don't know what he spotted or what he was trying to do. I mean, this guy only lived 2-3 houses down from us. It was terrible, to think a neighbor could do this. This guy was questionable at first when he moved in the first place, but as soon as we saw him and actually knew who he was, we were shocked. Then he goes around, as my dad's watching him, he's making sure he knows who this is. He goes to another window and tries to get in that one, but he fails again. Another attempt, he fails. And he keeps going around the house trying to look for new ways in. He goes to the side, he tries opening the doors to the basement. All these different things, maneuvers and systems he's trying to put in place to actually break into our house. It was not a good experience. And seeing this, we actually end up calling 911. And this guy gets in trouble eventually. But he actually ran off before my dad could even get outside. but he calls 911 and the cops are looking for him through the alleyways, through the streets. There was a whole search on for this guy that was trying to break into our house. And then the other neighbors come out and say, hey, we think he was in our backyard too, trying to get in our basements, looking for stuff to steal. I mean, think about it. This guy only lived 2 to 3 houses down from everyone else. No one else was trying this. Everyone knows everyone so darn well. So for someone, a neighbor that moved in recently, is actually trying to break into our houses is absolutely incredible. That someone would even try something like this, a move like this, when you actually are trying to get to know this person and be so welcoming to the neighborhood for them. But no, he goes up and ends up trying to break into all these people's houses, all of his neighbors next to him. Who does this stuff? Like, there's something must be mentally wrong with this person, to actually even think and try to do something like this. What a personal, unusual story this is to be had. And I think back to this day too, I'm like, this was like 15 years ago. And this guy tried this, in such a nice neighborhood. What made him think that was okay? It's like, oh, what? Because it's a nice neighborhood, it's just okay to break into people's houses, and you're living there. Like, you're better off getting the perks of having great neighbors than actually, why would you break into someone's house or attempt to break into someone's house? And actually to this day, I don't know if he actually did ever break into someone's houses around our area. We're actually unsure. And you know what? I'm thankful that the fact he didn't get anyone's house, as far as I know, and he didn't get in ours. This neighbor, as soon as he got found out and the police found him, he ended up moving out pretty quickly. Luckily, he was renting, so he did get out of there pretty quick. But he left a mess of the yard and the house. It was just a bad experience overall for us and all the other neighbors. He left a bad taste in our mouth because of the mess he made. And, he just put everyone on high alert, more so than they had to be, with a neighbor. Like, who would even think of that? And so the story continues on. This guy ends up getting in trouble. He goes through all the system and stuff like that, and he gets his little, fine and stuff like that. But, luckily he never came back around again or tried something like that again. But it just goes to show you, no matter how close someone is to you, it can be hard to trust them. In a day and age, where everyone seems to be out to get something, you got to have good people around, and it's unfortunate that you have to have a neighbor that actually caused some type of thing like that. That's a really unfortunate experience, and then you move on to the fact that, okay, is he doing this in new neighborhoods now? Like, what happened to this guy? Like, is he still think about our neighborhood? Like, you got to think more and more, the more you think about it, it's like, oh, geez, it's like, can that happen again if someone moves in and that happens again? It's like, it's experiences you do not want to think about, right? Or actually have to go through again. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little story. It's a unique story I had when I was a kid. And luckily, my father actually found who it was. But if you guys enjoyed this short story, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. And, of course, like always, have a great night and a great day. And again, stay tuned for Friday's video. And remember, I upload every Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday, with also including my short series on Saturday and Sunday. I also upload on TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, and Facebook. Please give me a follow there as well if you haven't. There's also content there. I also have some other means like a Buy Me a Coffee and a Patreon, but I don't expect that to really be of anything yet from people. It's still a newer channel, trying to really get it off the ground. But again, I appreciate all your support. All the likes help greatly, and it definitely helps getting this channel. And down the road, I do have planned merchandise for this channel, especially with the holiday season coming, most likely it'd be next year. Just based on circumstances of the channel. It's still growing. It takes time. You want to have a good following before getting that merch out there. But hopefully by Halloween next year, we'll have some nice merchandise for my channel. And during Halloween this year, I'm going to be doing a live stream, and I'm going to be doing about 5 or 6 videos on the week of Halloween. Some really unique, unusual stories. Guys, have a great night and a great day again, and bye now.